welcome to the All Things Leeds podcast. It's episode 10. Thank you for tuning in, downloading and listening as always. If you haven't heard me before, I am Ed, and as always, for these episodes of the podcast, I am joined by Leeds United fan and my good friend Charles Foster. How are you, Charles?
I'm good, Ed. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not bad, thank you. And we're also joined in the studio by another good friend of mine, long-time viewers of All Things Leeds will recognise him. It's Chris Chivers. How are you, Chris?
I'm not too bad, thanks for having me again.
Aye, no worries. Great to have you on again. Well, in this episode, we'll be going over the disappointing results on Tuesday night. Leeds United losing 1-0 away at QPR. Great opportunity missed there. It has been a very good week, though, for the U23s. Two good results for them. 2-2 draw away at Nottingham Forest last Friday, and then 3-1 win over Newcastle at Nevermore Park in Guiseley on Monday night. We'll be discussing them. As well as looking ahead to the big game on Friday night that sees Leeds United take on West Brom at Elland Road. Stay tuned. Well, we should start then. I mean, we would start by looking back at Leeds United's past two games. Of course, beat Bolton 2-1 at Elland Road last Saturday, but we did then lose 1-0 away at QPR on Tuesday night. And I don't think I can cope with talking about a Leeds United win when we've just lost against QPR and blown a great opportunity to return to the top of the table, championship table. It's disappointing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little bit going. I'll be honest. I watched the entire first half on the stream, and then I couldn't really get the second half, so I just followed it on Twitter. But I know what's happened because I've seen highlights and that. And I actually saw it when I looked at my phone. I got a notification to say we conceded in the 49th minute. I actually laughed out loud because I sat there and thought, this is the most Leeds thing we could have possibly have done. This lot are absolutely terrible. They lost 7 on the bounce. They conceded like 13 goals in like 4 games or something, and we've just turned up and done no and got punished.
Yeah, I think they conceded about 17 goals in those 7 championship losses in a row. Yeah, I mean, Chris, did you get a chance to watch it first of all?
I didn't watch it, unfortunately, but I was following it. Obviously, Phil here was the one giving me Twitter updates. Mm-hmm. But to be fair, he made it sound like we was just non-stop at them and we just couldn't break them down, or we was too poor at finishing.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I gathered from it. I mean, I didn't have my full attention on it. I was at the Farsley Celtic game last night. We won 4-0, so I guess that's something to be happy about.
Plastic fun.
But I did have the stream on my other phone, so yeah, I was watching it. And, yeah, for me, I mean, QPR definitely edged the first 10-15 minutes of the game in the first half. But then we kind of grew into it. We started to control the game, but we're creating quite a lot of chances as we usually do, but as always, we just can't finish.
Yeah, we seem to just, I don't know what kind of professional footballers can't hit a ball on target, but we appear to have had them all. I mean, we've had some terrible teams in the past, some truly awful teams, but nearly all of them had players in it that could hit the target. We genuinely cannot hit the target. You've got Barry Douglas volleying the ball over the top into row Z from 15 yards out. You've got Patrick Bamford nussing the ball straight at the keeper while the keeper's lying on the ground. There's only you've got people missing chances as they roll across the 6-yard box because you're not running fast enough. You
got Alioski trying to be spectacular again from right in the corner flag where it was like dipping down and keeper had to tip it off at bar.
I don't mind them because we always win a corner off it, so I mean, not that we ever do anything from corners.
Yeah, I mean, corners on Tuesday night were dreadful. Like, they were awful.
Yeah. I'm just sat here trying to think, what's something positive I can talk about? There's not much.
No, there isn't much.
I mean, the most the commentators on the QPR stream as well were making it even worse by really making me angry because I was just sat there watching it thinking they're really just kind of, I can't say what I want to say here, but so I'll just say bigger themselves up. They were just sat there going, pretending like every Leeds foul was a straight red, and every QPR foul was a bit harsh on the player.
Oh, well, it wasn't. I tell you what, the referee was awful this game. He was so bad.
No, there was one though where I don't know which QPR player it was, but they basically just grabbed Hernandez by the scuff of his shirt and threw him to the ground. And the QPR commentators kind of went, "It's a little bit harsh, but I see where the referee's coming from there." The
referee was just so inconsistent during that game. Like there'll be a point where we would be fouled, and then just like moments later when they've got the ball, we'd do the exact same challenge. And the referee don't blow a foul on when they challenged us, but they would for when we challenged them. It was ridiculous. I mean, referees...
Football league's corrupt.
I've already said enough about referees in this division, but it is awful, Chris.
And I've not been overly impressed with referees this season, to be fair. But I mean, nothing will beat Mike Dean as a referee. I think he's still up there as a benchmark that every referee should be setting.
Yeah, he like in the Premier League, amongst the others, like Mike Dean probably isn't everyone's favourite. But when he came down and refereed that the Reading game, wasn't it? The Leeds Reading game. I thought best referee.
To be fair, he was the best referee we've had. He was very, very consistent, which makes a change for Mike Dean.
Yeah, he's a good referee when he's not picking fights with Pochettino.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's no positive step from this, really. I mean, Patrick Bamford, last night there was that good opportunity in the first half where Hernandez crossed in the ball. Bamford was at the far post and he just missed the ball. Any contact, it's a goal. That one point in the second half as well, I think you mentioned where Tyler Roberts played it to Bamford. He had a shot. I think it was saved, and then another attempt.
No, he received the ball from Roberts and he was bang on the kind of central bit of the box. Right about 16 yards out, and he received the ball, and rather than have a shot on his right foot, because he's left-footed obviously, he decided to pass it across to Stuart Dallas to take a shot, and Dallas, who wasn't really expecting the ball to come to him, has just toe punted it at the goalkeeper, and it's quite fortunately flown up in the air, and rather than head it as hard as you can into the back of the net, he's basically jumped up in the air and nodded it downwards. It's gone straight to the keeper's arms.
Yeah, I mean, it's a concern, definitely. I mean, without Kemar Roof, Kemar Roof probably would have scored a hat-trick against QPR on Tuesday night. He always likes.
I don't know if you can say that, mate.
He always likes a goal against QPR.
Massively hypothetical, that.
But it is concerning, isn't it? Because we have so much possession, but when it gets to final third, that ball into the box, sometimes it's okay. Sometimes striker gets on the end of it, but they just can't finish. It is concerning. And
I just think if we had Robert Snodgrass and Chris Wood in this team, we'd have won this league by 20 points already.
I mean,
a player who can cross a ball, a player who can get it in the back of the net.
We have so many chances. If we put all of them away, we're winning every game like 3-4-0, and we're walking this league.
Yeah, I don't think we need Snodgrass because we do make those chances, but I definitely agree with Chris Wood. We need someone who's not necessarily a clinical finisher, just smart when it comes to in front of the...
You can't say, though, that our crosses are of good quality, can you, though, mate?
Some of them are.
Yeah, they are, to be fair.
No, apart from Hernandez, they're not.
Exactly, but I mean, even Alioski every now and again puts in a good ball.
He's almost always fortunate, though. They always fly to the back post, and there's always someone there to nod it back across. They never find the player exactly. And Harrison's, he did one in the Bolton game where he was running down the right wing, and he may as well have been told, "Oh, can you just volley it over the top of the cop, please, mate?" for the effort he put in. He basically he sent it into the Valentine's Day car park, the parade type thing.
I mean, the only player who is capable of putting a good ball into the box is Jack Clark, but I don't think we can rely on an 18-year-old to win us the season.
I will, yeah. We do need him back.
I'll be happy when he's back.
I think he's back after the West Brom game. Yeah. I think he's back shortly after. He's got to follow some kind of... Bielsa said he had to follow some kind of protocol to come back in.
Said it was a virus, didn't he? I mean, that could be anything.
If we are talking about positives in this game, though, I thought Casilla actually had quite a good game.
Casilla did have a good game.
He made a couple of good saves.
Casilla did have a good game. You know what's really funny? I noticed this during this match. Casilla's legs, just a weird shape for me.
Yeah,
To go down and get
I get what you mean, but I mean, I'm not going to complain about his legs when he's making some amazing.
No, I did. I mean, that save when I think it was Dougie Freeman, Luke Freeman. By the way, Luke Freeman, he had an awesome game. But
why do you keep calling him Dougie Freeman? Isn't he a boxer? I swear he's a boxer.
So,
I don't know. Luke Freeman. I apologise. Don't have a go. Luke Freeman. Luke Freeman. No, Dougie Freeman used to play for Leeds. That guy.
Did he?
He's football.
I'm going to Google this. Sorry.
Yeah, Google it. But Luke Freeman, I mean, he had a very good game against Leeds, didn't he? I mean, he'd been out with injury for so long, and then he comes back for the Leeds game and he turns into Messi.
Because no one was willing to 2-foot him, not even Phillips for some reason. And players like that, you need to, in the first 5 minutes, you need to properly dent their shin pads. It's putting it nicely.
He has a point, though. I mean,
sorry,
from injury. I mean, if he was coming back from injury.
Yeah, he didn't play the previous game. He wasn't even on the bench, and then he returns to the starting lineup and plays like he's on roids. It's ridiculous.
I mean, he did have a very good game, and of course he scored the goal. Awful goal to concede, eh? Awful goal to concede.
It's a Leeds United goal to concede.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nothing goal, just a ball into the box. He taps it, and beats Casilla at his near post. But yeah, back onto Casado, he did have a very good game. He made that really good save when...
It wasn't at his near post. It was the ball... that happened about 15 times in the game because Alioski didn't stop any crosses. The ball flew across the 6-yard box and there was 2 QPR players in there and Casilla was diving for it and they just belted it past him because, it's 6 yard out and that's what other teams do. They score chances when they're 6 yards out.
It wasn't it was poor to concede the goal.
I don't have any internet, so I can't Google Dougie Freeman.
But I can. But yeah, back onto Casilla. He did make that one good save in the second half where Luke Freeman went on this mad run, got a pass off to Naki Wells, and then Casilla was so quick out to Naki Wells to make the save. It was great.
It was if you're not the one I'm thinking you've had about, it was that weird one, wasn't it? When he dived the wrong way but still saved it with his legs.
Yeah.
He jumps down to Casilla's left, and Naki Wells hit it to Casilla's right, and he hit him in the shins on his way down.
All right, here we go. Douglas Freeman, or Dougie Freeman, from Glasgow, Scotland. Current team, Crystal Palace. He's sporting director there, but he did play for Leeds in 2008 on loan. So there you go.
You remembering a player we had on loan in 2008?
It's just force of habit. Luke Freeman just don't roll off at all.
He does sound like a boxer, though, doesn't he?
He does.
Dougie Freeman sounds like a boxer.
I'd say Dougie Freeman.
Yeah, but that's probably the only positive thing, Casilla. What they make of substitutions, that's a bit weird. I mean,
I thought they were shocking.
Douglas for Phillips, Dallas for Ayling. Dallas, I thought he did better than Ayling going forward. He offered a lot more for me.
I heard Dallas had a decent game. I can't bring in defenders on when you're losing. It just winds me up. It's what Sarri did, bringing like Zappacosta when you're 2-0 down. It's just you may as well just call the referee over and just ask for the full time whistle. There's absolutely no point in it. And Bielsa in the post match said, I didn't feel the game suited Izzy Brown. It's like any attacking player would have suited this game. Yeah. We had nothing.
And Izzy Brown came on, did make his debut. 10 minutes to go, and almost got sent off straight away.
I didn't see the challenge. People were saying it was really bad.
The first challenge was really bad. He had studs up, scissor tackle, go straight in. But he gets a yellow card.
The Calvin Phillips.
But he gets a yellow card, which I thought, he's got away one there. And then he makes another of a challenge about 2 minutes later. And I was like, how is he not being sent off here?
Referees kind of are a bit lenient with players like that just come back from injury and that are just kind of a bit frustrated, because you could tell he was a bit frustrated when he came on. It's like, why would you bring him on with 10 minutes to go?
Yeah, I mean, you bring him on earlier. You don't take Phillips off for Douglas and Dallas on for Ayling before you bring on Izzy Brown.
It's just mental. I'm really struggling not to swear about in this podcast, by the way, because I'm so annoyed.
I mean, the first thing that Brown did was it was a ball down the left hand side, cross in, and the ball just goes on, hits Izzy Brown right in the face, goes out for a goal kick. To say Izzy Brown had a good debut, he didn't have a good debut, but he did make his debut, which I guess is the good thing, really. And going forward, we do now know that, Bielsa does like Izzy Brown. He does want to play him. I
actually think, I know Bielsa doesn't really operate like this, but I think the away crowd was chanting for him to come on, and I think Bielsa just thought, it'll shut the fans up and this will be, I would have thought like that, but this will please the fans and it might create something, but
Yeah. What do you make of Bielsa then? Because during this game, he seemed a lot more animated on the touchline when I was watching, and then also after the game, I'm sure you've both seen.
He was picture. Not happy.
But I'm sure you've both seen that picture where Bielsa's crouched down on the floor, just staring at the ground after the game in the tunnel. Yeah. Seen that?
It's nice. It's nice to see that the defeats actually affect managers. I mean, it'd be terrible having a manager like Steve McClaren.
Yeah, it'd be terrible having a manager where they're not affected.
Who doesn't care, win or lose, he still gets his paycheck at the end of the week. He can still pretend he has a hairline. He doesn't care at all. But he also really does care because football is his life.
Yeah, football literally is his life.
Which a lot of Leeds fans can relate to, because I'll be honest, football is one of the few things I look forward to when I wake up on a morning during the week.
Yeah, I mean, on a weekend, the result makes or breaks.
Really. If we lose, you're just depressed.
Like, if we lose on Friday night, I'm going to have an awful Saturday and an awful Sunday instead of just an awful Sunday. I hate Friday night kickoffs. Why is Sky Sports?
I think I'm going out on Saturday, but I'll probably still be miserable if we lose.
On words substitutions, do you feel as though we should have made substitution a bit earlier on? You know, in the first half where Cooper went off to go get stitches, we were down 10 men for the last 5 minutes, and Bielsa said it in his press conference afterwards. It went off during probably our best spell of the game. Would you agree with that?
Bielsa was fuming because of how long he took to come back on. But Cooper said in his post-match he had about 6 stitches. So.
Yeah, he's getting stitches. It's not a 2-minute job.
I don't understand how someone split his head open that much. They has to have 6 stitches on his eyebrow. That's the kind of injury you get in boxing.
Just stick one of them bandages on for the next 5 minutes.
It'd have been some goon throwing an elbow in on a corner, probably. Like he normally is in the Championship.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those things that has to be looked at. And I like the fact that Bielsa's passionate, the fact that, he couldn't get back on quicker, but it's one of those things that, it had to be done. So
how long is he expecting it to take? I mean, stitches aren't just a 2-minute job. You need the numbing stuff, and then you...
Numbing agent, yeah.
Yeah, but he's from, was it Argentina, isn't he? Yeah, I didn't really care about that. Just
no pain relief. Just stitch me up.
It's not Pontus where he can head a brick and then just be absolutely fine.
With the substitutions, I felt this game had Jamie Shackleton in midfield written all over it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, when he was taking Elland off for Dallas, I was like, why are you bringing on Dallas? Bring on Shackleton.
I know this is going to annoy Chris, but I reckon they should have just taken Klitsch off and put Shackleton on.
Yeah.
Because Klitsch wasn't offering much in this game. Even you must admit, he wasn't offering much.
No one was really offering much.
I'm not asking you to slag off the man. I'm just saying, just admit that he didn't offer much in this game.
I agree.
I mean,
which makes a change for me.
But it was when they were making the change for Elland going off for Dallas. I would have brought on Shackleton personally.
At the very least, you're going to get a turn of pace, a lot of effort.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see one of the younger lads getting a run out.
That's what Jamie Shackleton offers. I was fuming seeing that and seeing Dallas. I mean, Dallas did have a good game in all fairness when he did come on, but Shackleton, he's got so much pace. He'll just bomb forward down that wing and create stuff. He does, yeah.
If Barry Douglas was fit enough to come on with like half an hour to go, why didn't he just start?
Yeah. Exactly.
Because all QPR's dangerous moves came down our left-hand side with Alioski not defending properly.
Yeah, because he won't take off Alioski. I don't know if you've seen, but Alioski is one of the only players that has played every game.
I think it's him and Luke Ayling that have played the most amount of games.
We stick on Alioski at right mid then, what he did when Douglas came on. But not really many positives to take from that game. Overall, just absolutely woeful from Leeds United, and the opportunity to go top of the league by 1 point missed. We're still third on goal difference. Automatic promotion place is a tough ask now.
I wouldn't say they're a tough ask because I don't expect Sheffield United and Norwich to win all the rest of their games, and if we went and by some chuffing miracle won on Friday, then we'd go back top at the start of the weekend. So it's not out of our hands. But with the group of players we've got and how much Bielsa's got out of them, and our expectations at the start of the season, I know obviously expectations change with circumstances of the season and how things have been going and the momentum. But at the start of the season, if someone had told me walk into the match on Stoke at home in the blazing sunshine, Leeds are going to finish in the playoffs this season, I'd have took their hand off.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have been saying, nah, I really think we should win the league by a mile here, because I was expecting us to come like between 5th and 8th. Really, that was my expected finish. So if we were to go ahead and finish 3rd, I'm not going to be annoyed, and hopefully we can break this playoff curse of never been promoted to playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, Chris, would you, if someone had gone to you at the start of the season and said Leeds going to finish in the playoffs, would you have taken that?
I'd have told them not to stop lying, because to be honest with you, I thought we could have pushed 6th or 5th, but I never expected us to be as high as we was. But then when I went to that first game, us versus Stoke, I think that was the moment I thought, wait, what's going on? Like, why are we doing so well?
Yeah, I mean, that Stoke game was weird, wasn't it? I mean, boiling hot conditions, going down against a team who's just been relegated from Premier League, you're thinking, right, this is going to be really, really tough. And if you had gone to the last Palmas game, me and you went, didn't we? I literally just arrived from holiday, got from the airport and gone straight down to Elland Road.
Roof scored that last minute goal, didn't he?
And seeing that last Palmas game, it wasn't a good performance. And watching that, you're thinking, Phillips, Cooper and Vardy as a back three? No. But you think, I mean, it wasn't the best performance, and you're thinking after that, right, this is going to be a difficult season, but we got and beat Stoke 3-1, absolutely, just run them off the pitch. Yeah, it definitely, at the start of the season, someone said to me, you're going to finish in the top 6, I'd have snapped their hand off.
It's all about perspective. The thing is, I don't know if this is a Bielsa quote or one of the other people at the club, they basically said, you're never as bad as you are. You're never as bad as people say you are in your bad moments, and you're never as good as people say you are in your good moments. The thing that Leeds fans in particular, but football fans in general, really lack is a proper sense of perspective. Like, we've won 19 games, which is, I think, 2 less than our best total for like the last 5 or 6 years, and we've still got like 13 games to go. So if we win 3 games out of 13, we'll exceed that record. You've just got to have a bit of perspective. We've been absolutely terrible for years, and we are almost definitely going to finish in the playoffs because, I mean, Bristol City are going on one of their bad streaks again. They've had a good streak, now they've had a bad streak, and then they'll probably go on a good streak again because that's just how Lee Johnson...
Yeah, I mean, they lost at home to Birmingham 1-0 on Tuesday, didn't they?
It's just how Lee Johnson manages. You either win 5 in a row or you're losing 5 in a row. It must be the most weirdest club to support ever, because they'll be like, oh, Johnson out, and then Johnson for the Premier League, and then Johnson out again.
Derby, they can't string a run together. They lost against Nottingham Forest.
They've only won 3 in 12 of Derby. Not playoff form.
Birmingham, they're probably going to
inconsistent. They lost to Bolton.
Point seduction soon.
Hilarious that might happen. Yeah. Forest are in a little bit of a run, but I still don't think they'll get enough to push into the playoffs.
No, I mean,
and if they do, they'll only nick 6th place, which won't affect us.
Yeah. I mean, looking at them,
top 6 is going to be top 6 then.
I think top 5 will be as it is. I think 6th place may change.
Yeah, but
right.
I mean, you're looking at those. I mean, I've gone down in these notes 1 to 9. I think that 6 to 9 is like, those are the 4 teams who could who could get into that playoff place. Looking at those, I fancy our chances against all of them really.
Mm-hmm.
Forest are the most likely out of them lot to to finish 6th place because the rest of them are just inconsistent.
Yeah. Who do you want in playoffs then?
Nottingham Forest.
Oh God.
I'd take Forest.
Really?
Yeah, I'd take either Forest or hopefully Birmingham if they
Bristol City for me.
I'd take Derby. We ran Derby off the park at Elland Road.
I don't want Frank Lampard's Derby.
Yeah,
I don't want him to finish in the playoffs.
Lampard, yeah.
I want him to fail miserably, then get sacked.
All right. Birmingham then, because we can beat Gary Monk in the playoffs.
Beating Gary Monk in the playoff final would be the best thing ever. Just to see the look on his miserable, snaky face.
But I asked that though. I mean, automatic promotion places, they asked. I mean, it is still in our own hands, kind of, because we do play Sheffield United in a few weeks. If we win every single game at the first of the season, we'll go up second. But that's a tough ask. It's not going to happen. So.
If we're being honest with ourselves, we're not the first. We're not the best team in the league, and we're not the second best team in the league. So the fact that if you can work out the maths there, we're not going up automatically.
No.
But
it's going to be a tough ask.
It could be worse. I mean, look on the bright side. We're not 12th, are we? We're not playing dead rubbers for the last 13 games like in every other chuffing season. We're sitting at Preston away thinking, oh, well, we're sat here watching a game of football, but it's meaningless. Yeah. Watching J-Roy belt it over the bar.
Yeah, we've actually got something to play for. It's not like I don't really like it at the end of the season. It was enjoyable a few months ago, wasn't it? It was enjoyable watching Leeds. Now you just kind of want, just take me to the end of the season now to see where we finish.
Because a few months ago we just thought, there's like 25 games left. There's so much time to turn this round, and then someone turns around to you and goes, "Hang on, there's 13 games left here. We're almost at the end." And you're like, we're going to ruin this, aren't we? Like we always do.
Yeah, it was enjoyable watching Leeds back in December. No, it isn't. 2 months later, I'm hating it. I'm hating every single week. I'm going into every single game nervous. But I mean, yeah, it's not out of the question. But it's going to be a tough ask. But hopefully they can do it. Going on to injuries. Then before we go on to the under-23s. We've already gone on to Jack Clark, probably going to be back after the West Brom game. For this QPR game, Bavardi and Douglas were back. Those are good signs.
Berardi didn't feature, that he was still on the bench for the QPR game. I always like to see Berardi. If only to when it kicks off on the sidelines, he's always the first one in and throwing a punch.
Yeah, get Bavardi at right back. That'd be great.
You reckon?
Ayling's not. I mean, good form.
I want the club to, when Berardi finally retires, I want the club to hire him as a discipline coach.
Yeah.
Just to sit on the sidelines and just glare at people.
Chris, you a big fan of Berardi?
I prefer Ayling. I feel like Ayling can give more of an attacking sense than what Berardi can.
Yeah, more of an attacking sense, but Berardi will just.
But that's what we need. We need more of an attacking
feistiness.
Berardi's a better passer of the ball than Ayling is.
Yeah, he is definitely. I mean, in saying that, against Swansea, Ayling did that gorgeous pass. Out to the left.
They both have the different strengths, and that's the issue. They're both different types of right backs.
Let's be honest, we have been massively pushing our luck this season.
Yeah,
we have like under any other manager, this team will be finishing 10th, and we're probably going to finish 4th.
No.
So. No, mate, we're not. We're probably going to finish 4th. I mean, and as annoying as that will be, and as nerve-wracking as it will be to watch the semi-final, and I'm going to have to book it off work, which is going to be awful. But I would love to see us go up via the playoffs. Going up via the playoffs is the best way to go up. You get the most amount. You get the most amount of money. You get a day out at Wembley, and you get the entire pub explodes when you score. Finishing second is the worst way to go up because you don't win a trophy. You don't play a final.
It isn't the worst way to go up because you go up straight away. The playoffs, you got the semi-finals and you got the final.
The drama's all worth it if you win, though.
Back onto the injuries, though.
It's just
back onto injuries, though. So Bavardi back, Douglas back as well, and that gives. I think Douglas being back is much better for us because it gives us an option to take Alioski out that left back position if we need to as a late stage, like we saw against QPR.
He won't do it. I'm telling you, he likes Alioski.
No, take him out of the left back position, move him to right mid or something.
No, just watch Jack Harrison drop back to the bench and Alioski get pushed back up to left wing. Yeah, that's what'll happen.
Yeah,
but it gives us more options. And then Kemar Roof as well. He's not needing any surgery, which is fantastic.
That was good
news
to hear. Yeah, but I mean, how long is he out? 4 to 8 weeks.
Well, I mean, with Rob Price, he's probably looking at being back
tomorrow.
Being back for the West Brom game. Yeah,
he's probably bench pressing buses at the moment.
Moving on from that disappointment against QPR, let's try and cheer ourselves up. It's been a good week for the N23s. They've been doing well. 2 good results for them. We'll go in chronological order though. So 2-2 draw away at Nottingham Forest last Friday night in the league, and for me, I mean, this just shows the character of the youngsters, doesn't it? You're going away to Nottingham, 2-0 down, and then to come back and draw to Wall, brilliant result.
They were lucky not to win it, actually, because Edmondson hit the bar in about the 87th minute or something, so they could have actually won it. But yeah, it's good. It's good character. They're still top of their league. I saw someone jokingly tweet yesterday that Radrizzani's focused all his efforts on winning the league, the under-23s league, which made me laugh. And I also saw a tweet which I retweeted that said when we were conceding goals off set pieces, Gianni Vio didn't die for this, which made me laugh out loud.
And Chris, for you, 17-year-old Mateusz Bogusz, he made his debut against Nottingham.
Yeah, he did really well. I was very, very impressed, to be fair. I watched a stream because they did it on the LUFC TV thing, the app. Yeah. So I was watching it. He played really well. I was generally very impressed.
Yeah, I was impressed with him as well. And again, on Monday night, in that Monday night game, I was very impressed with Mateusz Bogusz. Thought he was really good. Passing, really good. Strength, really good. He's a good player.
Should call him up to the first team.
I mean, there was when he came in, there was a thing going around saying, he maybe could step up into the first team. He is. Yes, he's 17, but he is a quality player.
I think I saw something from one of the coach of the club he was at, basically saying he was about 18 months to maybe 2 years away from being a proper championship player, like finished article. But then again, he's only like 17, and so being 19 and being the finished article is not too bad, is it?
No, not too bad at all.
Yeah, but he assisted one of Edmonton's goals, definitely in the Newcastle game.
Yeah.
Are we talking about that yet?
No, we'll move on to that Newcastle game. Of course, at Nevermore Park in Guiseley. Premier League trophy, and Leeds United needed a win to stay in this competition. Anything else would not have been good enough. And they did get a win. They went through to the next round. Very entertaining game, this. I thought, a great under 23s game, probably the best I've watched so far. Great by the under 23s. There were no first teamers in there really. There was no Bavardi, no Izzy Brown, and they beat a good Newcastle side. So a good result and a good match to watch.
The under 23s always seem to play better when there's no first teamers in the team, which doesn't make any sense. I think it's just mainly because they play with each other more often. They know each other better. I was really impressed with Diaz. He was good. I think you mentioned about Clark Odor. He actually looks like he could play the first team. He's so skillful. It's ridiculous.
Honestly, Clark Odor, for me, he's gone so far under the radar. No one ever mentions him, but he's class for me.
Eze, playing for QPR last night, I think him and Clark Odor are quite similar players in that they're extremely technical and gifted and really quite rapid. Yeah. I was impressed by Bryce Lozano's pace as well. He's ridiculously fast for a fullback. Yeah. So once at one point in the game he ran past like 4 players and then his shot got saved and it ended in nothing. But the fact he dribbled by about like 3 or 4 players without, and they didn't even get a glove on him, didn't get anything like that on him. He was doing really well. And Helm's an absolute giant, so he'd be useful on set pieces in the first team.
To be fair, we have a very, very strong under-23 team. When you look at that team, you think, how many of them have actually stepped up either on the sub-bench for our first team or
definitely
come on. It's looking very promising for our future. And, you can see that in their results. Unfortunately, they're not old enough to play. Well, they're not just there to play in the first team yet. Otherwise, I'd move them all to the first team.
There's some quality players in that under-23 side, there really is. It was really weird at the start of this game, though, because I was watching the stream on Facebook. They usually stream on Facebook and then just make you go to the Leeds United app, which I still haven't done. But the beginning there was a 10-minute delay, wasn't there? Because confusion all around, but referee wanted Leeds to change kits, to a bright like lime green kit, even though Newcastle were in light blue.
They changed it because Will Huff was colourblind. He admitted it on Twitter later on, so they had to change the kits because he couldn't tell the difference between the. For some reason, it was easier for him with the training kits.
It was just bizarre.
I like the training kits, to be fair. I think it looks really
I like us playing in white, though, mate.
Yeah, I like it playing in white.
Not luminescent green.
Yeah. Will Huffer just needs to...
Yeah, poor Will Huffer.
Just change his eyes.
You can't fix being colourblind, mate. It's not like contact lenses or laser eye surgery. You've got it for life.
Yeah. Bring back Blackman, get his eyes. Get his eyes out, give him to...
raid him for his eyes.
A very good player... In this Newcastle game for me was Edmondson. I thought he was class this game.
2 good finishes. He's gone off the radar a little bit, hasn't he, in the last 6 months or so? Because obviously Clark and Shackleton have been getting the plaudits, and Edmondson's kind of like, I think he needs a loan move, does Edmondson. I think he'd do well in League One. Like Malik Wilkes has shown that you can do it in League One if you put your mind to it.
I reckon he should be pushing for that first team at Leeds United. When we're having, we're not being able to finish our chances. Edmondson, he can finish. It's 2 very good finishes in the Newcastle game, and his strength, his speed, his awareness, his link-up play. I think he's just an all-round excellent player, and he's still really young.
Yeah, but you're never going to start. He's never going to start over Bamford, is he?
No, probably not. But yeah, under 23s, 2 good results to them. Definitely good to watch. And Mateusz Bogus, Chris, your guy, your main guy.
I'm excited.
He was very good for those 2 games. But now, before we preview the big game on Friday, a few things that I want to go over. First of all, with the Leeds United managing director Angus Kinnear, his programme notes for the Bolton game. First of all, he goes on about Spygate. Goes on this big rant, an embarrassing rant, really. It's up there with Andrea Ravizani's rant on Twitter earlier this week.
It had far fewer spelling mistakes in it, so...
Yeah, I guess so. But it was...
I'm not being racially insensitive there. I appreciate the fact that Ravizani is Italian, but he knows how to use spell check. The man's a multi-millionaire. If you can't use spell check on Word, there's something going wrong there.
But yeah, I mean, Kinnear, who it was first of all saying, they shouldn't have been fined. What they did wasn't that bad, and what other clubs were doing to us, complaining about us, that was in bad taste as well.
A couple of the quotes was. He actually said our fans have spotted quite easily the correlation between how poor the players were, the pundits, the former players were in their playing careers, and how ridiculous their opinions are now. And I thought, yeah, fair enough, fair cop.
I mean, he made some funny points here. He also said that if the EFL wanted to take points off them, they should have done it last season for when we released that new badge.
I mean, he's also not wrong there.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
We probably would have deserved it for that one.
That badge last season that we released.
Yeah, he was just saying that people calling for points deductions were just ludicrous.
Yeah,
which is correct. In fact, nothing he said was incorrect. It was more about the way he said it. It was the language he used. I mean, I think it's refreshing because I hate the whole spin doctor routine, and Angus Kinnear usually is the best out of him, Orta and Rajazani at the spin doctor routine. He is far and above because Andrea has no filter whatsoever, which is why whenever they wheel him out in front of the media, he just says something that causes massive controversy. Victor Orta is a really intense bloke, so when you're asking him kind of light and funny questions, he just sits there and goes, yes, this is my answer. This is my answer. This is why I've done this. I do not have social media for a reason. And then you wheel Kinnear out, and he's like a big beaming smile on his face, and he's always going, oh yeah, we're doing this with the club, we're doing that with the club, we're really looking forward to it, la 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 la. And then at this point, he's clearly got really annoyed. He's just gone, right, this lot of just... I just realised I can't swear. This lot of being not professional in their methods of kind of antagonising Leeds.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird bunch for board, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, it says some good points. So hopefully that's the last we've heard of Spygate.
Bet you a fiver it's not.
I think it is. I think it should be.
Yeah, hopefully. But going on to the badge though, so it was joking about last season's badge, but they've released a new badge for next season. They're not going back on it now. They didn't do like an official release.
They put it in slyly, didn't they?
Yeah, released it like a teaser, and everyone was like, "Oh, this is a new badge." I mean, you got it in front of you on the pages. What are your thoughts on this?
I like it.
It's a bottle job move.
A bottle job move?
They've essentially just taken the badge we currently have, taken the LUFC bit out of it, so the badge looks weird, like someone's done it on their laptop, and they've just done the most easy, basic PR move badge they can for one season, and then they're going to experiment. Hopefully, they said they were going to consult the fans, have like a voting poll, which they didn't do last time for some reason. Which would be good, but
he asked about 100 Leeds fans. Oh, what means a lot to you for Leeds and Luke? Rubbish.
Well, yeah, the Yorkshire Rose. I can't believe he didn't come up on that poll of 100. No one said, "Oh, actually, yeah, just stick the Yorkshire Rose and we'll be right." I mean, no, you're never going to get any Leeds fans going, you know what? I don't think we should have the Yorkshire Rose on our badge, or the return of the smiley badge. I would have liked.
Oh, our year,
yeah,
the year that we were.
Actually, the Revy one where the kind of the diagonal LUFC badge, just the letters in the diagonal, that'd have been good for the 100 years.
Yeah, quite like that.
Unpopular opinion, I actually quite like the peacock badge. I know it was terrible for our seasons whilst we had a peacock badge, but I kind of like the badge.
Nah, smiley badge is the best badge, mate. Also in the most successful period in our history as well.
Yeah. That smiley badge were back when that was released. That was like.
I think that's what made the smiley badge because of how well we did. Whereas the peacock badge, we did terrible, and I still.
I've got one of the vintage shirts with the smiley badge on it.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, you do? Yeah, I like the one where we won the 92 division. I like that badge.
Good shirt as well.
I don't particularly like the badge that we have now, the shield. For me, it kind of represents
failure.
Dark times at Leeds United.
I think we got it in about 2006 or something, and then from then on, it's all been bad.
But I mean, for me, this badge for next season, I don't mind it just for one season only. It hasn't, just created a massive new badge, which could have been a massive risk. They've kept it with the shield, which quite a lot of people don't really mind. They put the years 1919 to 2019, which is good. 100 years, I don't think they really needed that. But a big thing that they want is the Leeds United written on it. They don't want LUFC, they want Leeds United, so people in other countries can recognise it. I kind of see the point in that. I kind of like having the Leeds United thing on it, but I mean, yeah, the LUFC. A lot of people saying that they don't want to see that get rid of.
It's been done purely for branding purposes, hasn't it? I mean, I don't see a problem with having LUFC on the badge. I mean, for some reason, Andreas is obsessed with having the words Leeds United on any badge we do, and the thing is, it's the words Leeds United are quite long, so unless you're doing it like round a circle or underneath something, it's quite difficult to fit it into a badge.
Yeah.
You know what this reminds me of? Do you remember? I think it was 2012 Arsenal's kit.
Yeah,
they had that special kit,
yeah.
and it had. They literally changed nothing. They just put how many years the special kit was.
Yeah, put this little ribbon down.
Yeah,
it
ribbon.
reminds me of that. Yeah,
I said I think it was 100 years. Yeah, they did exactly the same. It was kind of.
It won't be 100 years for Arsenal.
No, I can't remember what badge it like.
Because they weren't they weren't formed in 1912.
I don't think they were, but I can't remember what it was for. But it was a special kit.
It might have been 125
anyway.
Years.
It was a shocking kit. It was a nice badge, but it was kind of like, yeah, you've just kind of done what, the basics.
Yeah, I see your point. This definitely does remind me of that. But yeah, I don't mind it. The only thing that I don't like is they've got rid of the LUFC and kept these like silly lines. What's that all about?
People have nicknamed it the T badge, because where LUFC used to be, and you can now just see like a T on the badge.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Arsenal.
Yeah, it was the 125th one. It
called it, yeah.
Very, very similar.
I've got to say, because Arsenal weren't formed in 1912.
Leeds
are actually one of the youngest clubs in the Football League.
Yeah. And we've got one of the best histories in the Football League.
It's funny how Leeds City, the club that preceded Leeds United, were closed down. They were closed down for bribing officials.
Funny, we could do that nowadays. Stuff,
which really set the club up for the rest of its long-hated history.
But I mean, yeah, for me, I don't particularly mind this badge. I get the reason that I want Leeds United on it. The 100 years, 1919 to 2019 is good. And it's just for one season only, which I guess is a bonus. Chris, do you like it?
I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a bit more of a bold move, changing it completely. But because Huddersfield did a good job of it. I mean,
don't say that, mate. Huddersfield have never done a good job.
Huddersfield's new badge this season was awful.
No, I really liked their badge.
This season?
The Netto badge.
No, the Terry's badge. Yeah, to be fair,
the one with a dog with a ball.
The Netto badge. Yeah.
They went something. It's simple but effective. Nobody else within the Premier League has a badge like that. And
no one else has it because they know what a good badge looks like.
But at the same time, they kept the old badge as well, so it was kind of like, it's a good badge, but you've also got the other one. It was a win-win for them.
I mean, definitely when they're doing the next big badge to take us forward for the next few years, they need to consult season ticket holders and the rest of it, definitely.
I think they need to change it up in a bigger way.
But Charles, you're not a big fan of this one then?
This badge, no. But you know what? It's not a random fascist-looking guy doing the Leeds salute, so could be worse.
Yeah, but anything's better than last season's badge.
Yeah.
Kinnear, he was also talking about a new stadium as well, saying that we need a bigger boat. That's his words. Rumour from Leeds United Stadium Tours as well, saying that they're looking at around 57,000.
It's going to be the biggest stadium in League One.
I mean, so what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on this, and how do you think it will work? You know, what stands are going to be developed? I mean, do you think they'll move the stadium?
They can't move Elland Road.
No, because they won't move it, because then it'll be such a massive effort and it'll cost so much money. They'll just extend they'll probably knock down the West Stand and the Cop and rebuild them taller.
Yeah.
The West Stand will look like the East Stand does now, and it'll be like two folded over stands, and the Cop will become much bigger, and they'll just leave the South Stand being small.
I mean, they can't really do much with the South Stand because it leads onto the road.
They can knock all them silly boxes out of it and put another 3,000 seats.
Knock the boxes out, and I think what they could do is get the North Stand, move it a bit further north, move the pitch with it, and put seats at the front of the South Stand.
And then kind of I get what you mean.
I guess that's an option.
It's a tough one because for where Elland Road is situated, apart from that car park, they don't have much room, to be honest with you.
No,
they don't.
And it's not like because the old Peacock, the pub next to the ground, has been there since before the football club was formed, and since the the pitch Elland Road was on used to be called the old Peacock Ground for the rugby team that used to play there. So the pub's like 100 and odd years old. So it's not like you just knock it down and go, all right, we'll use that space. You can't do that. So you're a bit constricted. I mean, for how big a city Leeds is, there's not actually that much space in it. Like, it's not like Liverpool and Manchester where there's like loads of space around the city to build stadiums and that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you won't be able to fit two. I mean, there's Headingley and everything, but you won't be able to fit 2 football teams in Leeds. I mean, it definitely does need developing to Elland Road. I mean, it's a shithole, but it's our shithole, and we love it.
What happens to the PG rule there, mate?
Yeah. Hey, it needs saying. Elland Road is an absolute dump, but it's ours, and we love it. But it definitely does need
I'm very fond of it, but it does need a massive lick of paint.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. With, like you say, if we was to move it, where could we move Elland Road? We can't really move it anywhere.
I'm also not willing to move stadium. We're not doing that.
I won't want to move it because Elland Road is just too much history.
I don't want to end up like Coventry where they're playing all their home games in like Northampton. It's like we're playing all our bloody home games in Wakefield or something like that.
That's not happening.
That would be the worst thing of all. Oh,
but I mean, yeah, Elland Road definitely does need developing. 57,000. That's a good target.
Be nice to turn up to a match day and be able to pay on the door.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing this because the season tickets, 22,500 season ticket holders, if they all get renewed and then no one else is they're not gonna sell new season tickets.
If you're not a gold member or a season ticket holder, you have 0 chance of getting a ticket.
Yeah.
57,000, I guess it's good, but for me, you wait a few seasons while you're in the Premier League. Wait like 2 seasons being in the Premier League, because if you go up and then straight away like 57,000, here we go, and then you go down again, it's going to be pointless.
I don't think so, because I mean this season, even to some games last season, we were selling out Elland Road, and I mean we're in the Championship and we're selling out 30-odd thousand. It's
36 is the capacity now. Yeah. Ken Bates knocked it down with building all them boxes.
Exactly, but I mean 57's a big ask. Like that's a lot more.
We are a big city though. We are the third biggest city. Third biggest city in the UK.
Yeah, big city, one club city. But I remember days going to Elland Road and we were getting about 18,000 in or something. And
it's not happening.
Even then we were kind of pushing up. But yeah, I mean for me, just wait a few seasons being in the Premier League and make sure that you're guaranteeing sellouts. If you go up, get 57,000 and go down in your first season, it's going to be pointless.
But that's unfair on the 20,000 that won a ticket and can't get one, because
yeah, that's true.
Because trying to buy a ticket now, if I wanted to take some friends or something, it's near enough impossible. Yeah. Like they've even changed the rules so you can't buy 9 tickets anymore. You got to buy 3.
I agree with that. To be fair, 9 tickets was ridiculous per person.
9 tickets was ridiculous
because everyone was buying them and then selling them on for ridiculous prices.
Yeah, they're always like, oh yeah, I'll meet you at ground. I'll give you 35 quid. It's like you're a scalper, mate. You're an absolute. You're a leech on our club.
Yeah, but that's Kinnear's programme note. Very interesting. Also, if you missed it, Andrea Verazani's rant on Twitter about the Daily Mail's article saying that he needs to sell if we don't go up. We're not going to get into that. But
it's like the angry, illiterate ravings of a madman in the nicest possible way.
But let's look ahead to the massive game on Friday night. Then Leeds United against West Brom at Elland Road. A season-defining match this for both clubs, really. But I mean, if Leeds have any ambition of getting into the top 2, this is a must-win.
That's what we said about QPR, though, mate. Yeah, well, I don't expect us to win. I'm hopeful for a point. I think a point would be a good result.
Yeah,
take us above Sheffield United for 24 hours at least. Hopefully Wednesday will do the business for us, and we'll stay there. But
that's on Monday as well, the Sheffield derby.
But that's a big derby, regardless of the form that Wednesday or United are in. A derby's a derby.
Wednesday are in quite good form.
Yeah, they haven't. I mean, the one on Tuesday night, I believe, at home.
Don't get me wrong. I hate Sheffield Wednesday, but I really hope they do a job for us there.
Yeah, I really hope Steve Bruce and Sheffield Wednesday do a really good job and for Sheffield.
Plus,
United.
one of my mates is he's from Donny and he's got a load of Sheffield United fan mates, so it'd be really nice if they were really unhappy. It'd be great.
Remember, it's away as well for Sheffield United, and they don't have the best away form. You catch my back a few weeks ago; they were 3-0 up away at Aston Villa. End up drawing 3-3. They don't have a best away form this season at all. So you can take that into account. But I mean, yeah, definitely, it's a must-win for Leeds United.
We just need to get through these hard games, and then we'll be all right. We need to get through West Brom. We need to get through Sheffield United. We need to get through Bristol City.
Yeah, I mean, you look at
and then the rest of the games are all down the bottom of the table.
Yeah, I mean, you look at our next 3 games: West Brom at home, Bristol City away. We've got Reading away on a Tuesday night.
Of course we do.
Sheffield United at home. These next 4 games are massive, but really, really difficult as well.
Yeah.
It couldn't really be worse. That's the thing. We couldn't have a worse fixture. Fixtures in the next 4.
I just hope we turn up on Friday, because they don't have a game for 8 days afterwards. So just put everything into this game, and then you can have a couple of days. You can have the weekend off, lads, and then we'll come back on Monday morning. We can start the preparations for Bristol City. But
well, if we don't turn up on Friday, we're going to get absolutely hammered by West Brom. It is going to be hard. We know the quality that West Brom have. The players that they've got: Dwight Gale, Jay Rodriguez. Sheffield United not doing us any favours by not 2-footing them every time they were near the ball. But yeah, we know the quality that West Brom have, and it's going to be really difficult against them.
I'm more nervous having Gale there more than anyone. I think Gale is a class.
Well, he always seems to score against us.
Exactly. And to be honest with you, I think I'm not too worried about Rodriguez or anything like that, because Pontus will just knock him out. But Gale seems to be the one that always gets away and does something. Just
be thankful that we don't have Rob Green in goal for the game on Friday. God. If you remember the game against Newcastle a few seasons ago.
I wasn't at that game.
The long ball, Rob Green, just don't catch it.
It didn't seem like I'd miss much.
Yeah, Rob Green was, to be fair, one of... I was tense every time Rob Green had the ball, and Ed can confirm that.
I mean, for the first half of that season, Rob Green were pretty dire, but the second half of the season, he was one of our best players.
I remember Newcastle away, and he was just making like save after save after save. It was just incredible. And then he finally got beaten with like an absolute worldie of a shot, and then we equalised in the 95th minute. That was funny.
Looking back.
All angry Geordies just hanging about.
Looking back at that season, what a chance we had. We went on a good run, joined away at Newcastle, beating Brighton at home, and then we've awful
doing exactly the same this season because we don't learn from our lessons.
Yeah, we're doing a Leeds. But yeah, we know the quality West Brom have. It's going to be difficult. West Brom currently in 4th as well, 4 points behind us. So if they want to push for the top 2, they need to win this one as well. It's got massive game, important game. It should hopefully be a good game. If Leeds United turn up, it will be entertaining.
It would be just the type of game where we turn up like a Derby or a Swansea performance and just batter them, wouldn't it?
Going into the game with no momentum at all, no confidence. You remember that Derby game? We were going into it, no momentum at all. And then we go into the big game and just play them off the park. If we do that, that'd be great.
I mean, the media did play a massive part as to why we turned up on that game, though. Just because we were just getting, the team were getting slagged off, the fan base were getting slagged off, the manager were getting slagged off, the managing board were getting slagged off, and we just turned up and slapped them about. It's so funny. And Lampard just stood there for 90 minutes. I don't think he said a word. Jody Morris was like running back and forward, and just did nothing.
Yeah, Chris.
I mean, to be fair, I want something to go down in the media just so we do have a little bit of hype or something, because it seems to be every time our names are mentioned in because we're in the Championship banter group, and every time someone says something bad about Leeds, we always seem to do a job. And it's the only time we ever do a job when someone says something bad against Leeds. It just seems like, without momentum, I can't see us doing much here, and it's upsetting, but it's true.
West Brom are probably, for me on paper, best team in Championship. Really, and remember we're going into this. This is our 3rd game in 6 days as well, and on Tuesday against QPR, we looked absolutely shattered, didn't we?
Thank you to the EFL for their terrible fixturing.
Yeah, I mean the joke about this on the square ball, but we were scheduled to play QPR on that Saturday, and they played on a Friday. They were perfectly free to play on that Saturday, so we could have easily played then.
It's for TV though, wasn't it? Because they wanted us on the red button. Right, that annoyed me. So Sky Sports, right? They put Bury versus Portsmouth over Leeds yesterday.
You would. That's a big League One game.
Bury are in League Two. It was the Checkatrade Trophy. What the hell are they playing at?
It's going to be tough. And Charles, is tiredness for you Is that going to be a factor on Friday? Does that worry you?
The energy levels don't worry me at the moment. Actually, what I noticed when we were playing against QPR wasn't the fact that we didn't look like we had much energy. It was the fact that we always try these 1-2 passes to break through opponents' lines, and when they come off, they look really good. But a lot of the time, the passes are so lazy and casual. You're passing like 3 yards in front of your man, or you're passing it in between the guy you're trying to find and the defender intercepts it, and the attackers are just amazed that the defender would dare stick a leg out and intercept the ball. It's just like, pass the ball to his feet, you moron. It's not that hard. You're a professional footballer on thousands of pounds a week. It's not hard to pass a ball 10 yards. I can pass a ball 10 yards.
Yeah. The lineup.
You've never seen me play football, to be fair, mate.
Yeah, I think we need to play football sometime, to be honest with you.
Well, lineups then for Friday. Who plays for you? I'm guessing we should make changes from the QPR game.
Not going to happen.
So, it won't happen, but
yeah.
Cassia in net. I'd put Elland over Berardi again.
Nah, sod it. Start Berardi for me.
Start Berardi. I'd say start Douglas at left back and move Valioski further forward.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Start Shackleton in midfield as well for me. Let's have a crack at it.
Let's just stick out the under 23s.
Let's just stick out a young squad and then just run at them and see if we can do it.
Yeah.
I'm sick of this passing around the 18-yard box, trying to chip it into each other for the perfect goal. Let's just run at them, blast a few shots, and hope Sam Johnson drops one to his own sodding net.
Yeah.
And then
definitely just take a few shots as well. I mean, we barely. We're taking shots against QPR, just passing it all the time. But yeah, for me, you start Douglas and Bavardi, move Alioski a bit further forward, maybe stick him on right midfield, and yeah, Shackleton as well, definitely in first shout. Maybe that played a part in Bielsa's mind, not bringing him on against QPR, save him for
I don't think.
I think it was just because he likes his team. If you look at Bielsa, if he makes a change, it's due to either injury or because he thinks the tactics would suit someone else better. Like if Izzy Brown makes an appearance, I'll be surprised, because he said the other game didn't suit Izzy Brown. Does West Brom suit Izzy Brown? Did he say so?
Who knows how that man's mind works?
What suits Izzy Brown?
Who knows what Bielsa thinks of?
Sitting on the bench suits Izzy Brown. Playing in the 23s and not really trying that hard suits Izzy Brown.
But yeah, definitely changes needed for Friday. Score predictions then. How much are we going to lose by?
I'm going to go for an optimistic 1-1.
1-1. Chris?
I'm saying Kieran Gibbs is going to score against us and Dwight Gale, so I'm going to say 2-0.
Kieran Gibbs.
I don't mind him, to be fair.
Arsenal reject.
He wasn't that's the thing, he wasn't an Arsenal reject.
He was an Arsenal reject, mate.
He wasn't. He played for Arsenal. He did well at Arsenal.
And got rejected and sold to West Brom.
Yeah. Right, score prediction, Chris.
2-1 West Brom.
You can't predict Leeds to lose on a Leeds podcast, mate.
I've got to. It's just reality.
Yeah, because I'm going to predict 4-0 West Brom. Now, I'm going to go 1-0. 1-0.
You guys are brave. I'm saying.
I'm hoping we remember how to defend and we actually can hit the back of the net at some point.
It depends. If Alioski is still at left back, we're not going to win that game. I'm telling you now.
I think Douglas will start though.
Yeah, so do I.
I could see that happening.
Yeah, definitely.
He played half an hour. He can probably start. I mean, it still irritates me how far he blasted that chance over the bar.
But yeah, I mean, definitely changes needed. Chris, you're going for a West Brom win. Me and Charles, we're hopeful. We're going for a draw. I don't think Leeds United can win this. If we do, that'd be amazing.
I don't think it's right to say we can't win it. I just don't think we will win it. I don't think, it's not if we turn up with the right performance, we could win it.
Yeah, definitely. Be a draw, 1-1 draw for me and Charles. But that brings us to the end of this podcast, episode 10 of the All Things Leeds podcast. Thank you very much to Charles, as always, for joining me.
Thanks for having me on.
And thank you to Chris as well. Thank you for joining us in the studio.
All right, happy to be here.
I really do appreciate it. And thank you to everyone who has tuned in, downloaded and listened as well. We really do appreciate that. Make sure to give us a 5-star rating on iTunes. Share the podcast around as well with your friends, family. If you haven't subscribed to the All Things Leeds YouTube channel yet, make sure you do. Follow All Things Leeds on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You can find us all there. Have a good one, and we'll see you next week.